Happy morning, students. Welcome to Blue Stars Higher Secondary School English online class. Today, we are going to learn an interesting grammar, that is degrees of comparison. Okay, what is meant by degrees of comparison? Degrees of comparison are used when we compare one person or one thing with another. So before going to degrees of comparison, you might have known about adjective and adverb, isn't it? Okay, what is meant by adjective? Adjective describes about the subject, and adverb is nothing but describes about the verb. So now will you tell me what are the adjectives? Tall, big, short, like that. So an adverb means fastly, slowly, like that. Okay. So the definition of degrees of comparison is used when we compare one person or one thing with another. So it is nothing but when we compare one person or one thing with another. So in English, we are having three types of degrees of comparison. What are they? Positive degree, comparative degree, superlative degree. So there are three degrees of comparison in English. First one, positive degree. Second one, comparative degree. Third one, superlative degree. So now let us see what is meant by positive degree. So passive degree is a term that relates to adjectives and adverbs. An adjective or adverb that does not make a comparison is said to be in the passive degree. In other words, the passive degree is the normal form of an adjective or adverb. So passive degree is nothing but it is a term that relates to adjectives and adverbs. So in positive degree, there is no comparison. So in other words, the positive degree, it is a normal form of an adjective or adverb. So positive degree is a term that relates to adjectives and adverbs, and it does not make a comparison. So that is called a positive degree. The passive is used when speaking of or describing an object. So what is meant by passive? It is used when speaking of or describing an object. So when we speak or when we describe an object, that is called positive degree. For examples, thin, sad, fair, chubby, fat, etc. So these are all adjectives and adverbs. So positive is used when speaking of or describing an object. So when we speak about the person or we can describe about an object, that is called a positive degree. We can see the example here. Sandra is a sweet looking girl. So here sweet is an adjective. Ganesh is as clever as Ravi. My father is as tall as rivers. So here clever, tall, so these represent adjective. So past is used when speaking of or describing an object. So here we are in the first sentence, Sandra is a sweet looking girl. We are speaking about the subject, that is Sandra, like this. Then comparative degree. What is meant by comparative degree? The form of an adverb or adjective modified by more or ending in er, that is used when comparing two things. So usually comparative degree means when we compare two person, and it is a form of an adverb or adjective modified by more. So we can modify by more or ending in er. For example, tall is an adjective. So when we write in comparative, we can add er. So that is used when comparing two things. So the comparative is used when comparing two objects and is formed by adding er to the positive. So comparative degree is nothing but it is used when we compare two objects, and it is usually formed by adding er to the positive degree. For example, thin, it is a positive degree. So while writing in comparative, we should add er, thinner, then fair, fairer, etc. Here, see the example. Evelyn is sweeter looking than Catherine. So here, sweet is a positive degree. So while writing in comparative, we should add er. Then the class monitor is cleverer than Mano. My teacher is taller than your father. So comparative means we can add er to the adjective. So the comparative is used when comparing two objects and is formed by adding er to the positive. Then superlative adjectives. What is meant by superlative adjectives? Superlative adjectives are used to compare three or more nouns. So superlative is nothing but it is an adjective which are used to compare two or more nouns. They are also used to compare one thing against the rest of a group. Superlative adjectives demonstrate a higher level of comparison between entities. For example, she is the prettiest princess in all the land. The superlative adjectives are used to compare three or more nouns and also used to compare one thing against the rest of a group. We use the superlative degree when we compare more than two persons or things with one another. It is the highest degree of the quality. So superlative degree is the highest degree of the quality, and we can compare more than two persons or things with one another. For example, Peter is the smartest boy in class. So here Peter is the smartest boy in class. It is the high, it represents highest degree. Then Alice is the sweetest girl in the neighborhood. The blue whale is the largest of all animals. So superlative degree means when we compare more than two persons or things with one another, and it is the highest degree of the quality. While writing in superlative, we should add st. While writing in comparative, we should add er. So likewise in superlative, we should add est. Next, adjectives of one syllable. Okay, adjectives of one syllable add er and est. So these are all, this contains one syllable, that is small, warm, old, nice, big. So adjectives end on e, just add or and st. So if the adjective ends in e, you should add just or in comparative and st in superlative. Some adjectives double the final consonant. You can see this example. So listen, adjective. The adjective have one syllable. We should add er in comparative and est in superlative. So the adjective ending in e, just you should add or in comparative and st in superlative. Some adjectives double the final consonant. You can see the example here. A small is an adjective. So when we write in comparative, just we should double the final consonant, that is smaller, er. In superlative, smallest. Warm, warmer. In superlative, warmest. Old, older, oldest. So you can see here, nice. The word ending in is just you should add or in comparative and st in superlative. That is nicer, nicest. Big, bigger, biggest. Next, adjectives of two syllables. Some adjectives of two syllables add er and est. For adjectives ending in y, cut y, then add ier and iest. Adjectives ending in full, less, ing, ed use more and most. Some other adjectives of two syllables use more and most. Modern, famous, normal, correct. So here, if we have adjectives of two syllable, we should add er in comparative and est in superlative. For some adjectives ending in y, we should cut y. Then we should add ie or in comparative and iest in superlative. Then some adjectives ending in full, less, ing, ed, we should use more in comparative and most in superlative. Then some other adjectives of two syllables use more and most. So for you can see this example. A narrow is an adjective. So while writing in comparative, we should add narrower. In superlative, narrowest. Then happy. If the word, if the adjective ends with y, just you should cut y and you should add ie or in comparative and iest in superlative. So the adjective end in full, ful, full, just you should add more useful in comparative, in superlative most useful. Then ing, if the adjective ends in ing, we should add more boring in comparative and most boring in superlative. Then modern, more modern, most modern. Next, adjectives of three or more syllable. Adjectives of three or more syllables use more and most. So if the adjective have three or more syllable, just we should add more in comparative and most in superlative. For example, beautiful. It is a adjective. So while writing in comparative, you should add more beautiful, in superlative most beautiful. Then dangerous, more dangerous, most dangerous. Exciting, more exciting, most exciting. Next, we are going to see irregular adjectives. So you will have to memorize this. These are all irregular adjectives. For example, good, well. So in comparative, better. In superlative, best. Then bad, worse, worst. Little, less, least. Much or many, more, most. Far, farther, further, farthest. Late, later, last, latest. Old, older, elder, older, oldest. So these are all called irregular adjectives. Next we can see some adjectives. For example, green is a past degree, while writing in comparative, greener, greenest. Then tall, taller, tallest. Good, better, best. Joyful, more joyful, most joyful. So these are all called adjectives. So some we can see some adverbs, that is fast, faster, fastest, joyfully, more joyfully, most joyfully, well, better, best, far, further, furthest. So these are all called adverbs. So now we can see adjective form. That is already we have seen only one syllable ending in E. For example, white, fine, cute. So with the syllable ending in E, just we should add or in comparative degree. That is wider, finer, cutter. Then in superlative, just we should add st. Widest, finest, cutest. So here cuter. Okay, if listen carefully students, only one syllable ending in E, just you should add or in comparative and st in superlative. So only one syllable with one vowel and one consonant at the end. For example, hot, big, fat. So in this syllable we are having one vowel and one consonant at the end. So for example, when writing in comparative, you should double the consonant and add er, that is hotter, bigger, fatter. So double in superlative, double the consonant and add est, hottest, biggest, fattest. Next one, only one syllable with more than one vowel or more than one consonant at the end. For example, light, neat, fast. So in syllable, one syllable with more than one vowel. So you're having one vowel here. If we have more than one vowel or more than one consonant at the end, we should add er in comparative. That is lighter, neater, faster. In superlative, just you should add est, lightest, neatest, fastest. Next, two syllables ending in Y. Example. So if we have two syllables which will end in Y, for example, happy, silly, lonely. We should just change Y to I, then add ER. Happier, sillier, lonelier. And in superlative, change Y to I, then add EST. Happiest, silliest, and loneliest. Next one is two syllables or more not ending in Y. For example, if we have two syllables or more which not ending in Y, for example, modern, interesting, beautiful. So in comparative, use more before the adjective. So in that type, we should add more in comparative and most before the most in superlative. That is more modern, more interesting, more beautiful. So in superlative, most modern, most interesting, and most beautiful. So these are the rules, students. So read carefully. Next, we are going to see the structure of the degrees of comparison. By using this, we can frame the sentence easily. For example, we are having type 1 in positive, not plus, so plus, adjective plus as, or as plus, adjective plus as. In comparative, adjective plus, er plus, than plus, or not plus, adjective plus, er plus, than. So in first type, we are not having superlative. So coming to type 2, in past degree, no other plus, noun plus, is or was plus as plus adjective plus as. So while writing in comparative, adjective plus er plus than plus any other. In superlative, the plus adjective plus est. So type 3, very few plus plural plus noun plus as plus adjective plus as. In comparative, adjective plus er plus than plus many other. In superlative, one of the plus adjective plus est. So this is the structure of degrees of comparison. By using the structure, we can frame the sentence. So students, today we are learned about degrees of comparison. In degrees of comparison, we are having three types: positive, comparative, and superlative. Positive is nothing but we cannot compare. This we are saying about the noun. Then here comparative means when we compare two or more person or things. Superlative means we can compare two, three or more persons to the rest of the another. So this is degrees of comparison and this is the structure of degrees of comparison. The next class we can see by using the structure we can frame the sentence in next class. Hope you have all understood, students. So just write in your fair notebook of that is the structure of degrees of comparison. Okay, thank you, students. Have a good day.